So what's driving consumers to these steakhouses? And what makes them a standout in the restaurant sector?
Value steakhouses exist in kind of the sweet spot where it's tough to replicate the experience. I think that's why you've seen Roadhouse and Longhorn deliver trends that are, above what the industry's seeing.
Texas Roadhouse and Longhorn Steakhouse parent company Darden Restaurants have significantly outperformed the S&P over the past 5 years. Darden Restaurants owns a number of chains besides Longhorn.
If you think ordering shrimp scampi at your favorite chain feels like a little luxury, you might want to pause before twirling that first noodle. Because under that glossy sauce and steam effect is often a frozen, thawed, reheated routine, what one ex-worker called a staged illusion of freshness. The shrimp, pre-cooked until rubbery. The sauce, from a pouch. The steam, sprayed on. What you're paying for isn't seafood indulgence, it's a marketing show built to look premium while stripping away everything that makes it real food. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. You think comfort food means safe food, but behind the menu words like grilled, fresh, and from scratch is often a script for the same factory-fed show. It plays perfectly into the nostalgia you feel when you see something like shrimp scampi or chicken alfredo.
Slow cooked pot roast? Oh, that's dinner. Even T-bone steak?
Those dishes sound like a home meal with a restaurant polish, simple, comforting, maybe even worth the splurge. But that language hides a quiet production line built for speed, not flavor. The illusion of care is the real product being sold. Let's start with shrimp scampi. In most mid-range kitchens, the shrimp arrive pre-cooked and frozen in sealed bags. When your plate is ordered, the shrimp are dropped into warm water for a few minutes, then tossed into a pre-made sauce that was poured from a pouch hours earlier. To make it look freshly sautéed, the plate gets a blast of steam before it leaves the pass. By the time it reaches your table, it's glossy enough to fool you into thinking someone stood there whisking butter and garlic from scratch. Chicken Alfredo isn't any luckier. That sauce clinging to your fork might have spent its morning sealed in an industrial bag, microwaved in batches until service picks up. The pasta was boiled long before dinner started, sitting under oil to keep it from sticking. The result is noodles that give off that telltale gluey bite no amount of Parmesan can hide.
We do expect Texas Roadhouse to deliver trends that are above the industry. 12 months, we have an equal weight rating on Darden and would expect the stock to perform kind of in line, but already trades at a higher valuation than the rest of the industry.
But the struggle to lure new customers and keep nostalgia alive is a shared one.
Inspection reports and worker accounts have described how these pre-bagged systems keep chains consistent across hundreds of locations. Consistent, yes, but consistently processed. You pay for comfort and get chemistry. That quiet betrayal is what stings most. When the menu promises handmade but delivers machine-managed, your trust becomes part of the cost. And if this feels bad, just wait. Once we leave the pasta section, the illusion doesn't fade, it deepens. What happens to the steak, the salad, or that innocent morning special tells an even murkier story. You may think the steak dinner or salad bar is a safer bet, but the same system of shortcuts often hides right under the garnish. The steak sits on the menu like a symbol of effort, something sizzling, seared to order, the kind of meal that justifies a higher price. The truth is, many chain kitchens treat steak less like a craft and more like a convenience item. The cuts often arrive vacuum sealed and par-cooked, ready to be reheated in a convection oven or dropped on a grill long enough to fake the marks. Look close and the performance shows. The color fades unevenly along the grain, the sear lines dull instead of crisp. Temperature logs from health inspectors tell the rest of the story. Frozen stock thawed ahead of schedule or left under heat lamps too long. That celebrated entree ends up no different from the scampi pouch, warm, salty, and oddly lifeless. Then there's the salad bowl, a supposed reset button between heavy dishes. But lettuce that looks perky under kitchen lights usually comes from a pressurized bag treated to stop browning. The cherry tomatoes coated in sheen are preserved in a light chemical bath. Even the diced chicken, topping, is cooked elsewhere, chilled, and shipped in sealed trays to be scooped out on site. When staff fail to rotate trays fast enough, those crisp greens turn gray at the edges. Inspectors have documented produce held above safe temps, cucumbers slick and sour. And breakfast, the last refuge for value diners, isn't much cleaner. Those fresh cracked eggs. Many are frozen discs waiting on trays. Pancakes are reheated by the dozen, syrup pumped from industrial bags. Worse, grills go hours without a true scrub between batches, letting bacon grease and syrup caramelize into residue. That sticky mix gets into everything. These shortcuts ruin taste and quietly raise risk. What chains call consistency often means trimming corners until nothing real is left. So if that's the norm, where does a diner find a plate that's actually worth trusting next time out? The illusion of comfort food costs more than money. Every pouch of sauce and pre-cooked cut trades freshness and dignity for speed. The comfort you pay for is convenience in disguise, efficient, uniform, flavorless. Value starts where transparency begins. Order foods that are hard to fake, shell-on seafood, bone-in meat, or anything grilled in sight. Question the steam, the gloss, and the buzzwords. If it sounds too crafted, it's probably staged. The real bargain isn't the meal, it's knowing what's behind it. Awareness doesn't cost extra, ignorance does. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets.